Hello. Um, Welcome back. If this is your first time watching, I'm Rikki Finch. It is 8 p.m. on Friday the 5th, April the 5th, and it's a Friday. Yup, that was words. And I know it's the 5th because I know my rent is due tomorrow. So, there's that. I just had freaking pancakes for dinner and yogurt. Love that stuff. I got the Dan and Light Fit Greek yogurt. Yep. So it's been an alright day. I was rotting in bed for most of it, but I mean, it's been alright. I mean, I made it to work at a, almost fireable time, but not really, Like, it was enough. I was supposed to be there at 8. I was an hour and a half late. That was a good rhyme. Save that for a song. And, and then, I got a text saying, like, hey, if you don't get here in, 5 minutes, I'm gonna have to give your task and your tour to someone else. And I was like, ooh, I gotta go do that, because I give, campus tours. So I was like, oh, wow. And, of course, I felt awful as I was getting myself ready, trying not to cry, just make my way to work. And then I got there like, hey, gang, it's me. And they were like, hey, gang, it's you. You good? You ready to do this? No, just like, give me the tour. Give me the people. And I did my job. I did the job, boss. Don't worry, I did the job. And I got it done. And then I just, died. I went on YouTube, got my first hate comments. Love it. Love to see it. And then I went over to my friend's dorm, and he was like, hey, we made brisket last night. Come have some brisket. And I was like, oh, okay. So we have brisket. And I went and I played The Sims for a bit, and some guys asked me to go get high with them. I said no. I remain pure another day, boys. And yeah, and then I came back to my home, or my apartment, and just, decided to take a nap. And when I woke up, it was 6, and I was just like, where am I? I thought it was 6 in the morning on Saturday, and I was just like, oh, wow, I woke up at such a nice time, but shoot, I must have slept all night, and I didn't stream yesterday. This is awful, because lately I've been streaming daily. By the way, follow me on Twitch, just saying, twitch.tv/Rikki Finch. We do some cool things there. Anyway, I was like, man, I didn't stream tonight. I'm a failure. And then I was like, wait, it's 6 p.m. Then I laid in bed for another hour, just scrolling through TikTok. And now I just finished eating, and now it's 8 p.m. And so, not a productive day. Not a productive day, but I think it was needed, because school has been kicking my butt lately. I have good grades now. There was a chance I was going to fail a class, but I actually now have a B, so I'm feeling pretty good about that. And I take my final next week. My final. Let's go. But, yeah, I mean, it's singing and everything. I've talked about it on the other Rikki Rambles, how singing is just not going well for me lately. Classical singing, at least. But I talk about it already. How I sang... What day did I sing? Did I sing Tuesday? I think I sang Tuesday. So on Tuesday, I sang a Gretchen... What? I sang a German lieder song? I don't know. But it was called Gretchen am Spinnerrad by Schubert. Love that guy. Anyway, I sang that and flubbed most of the German, to be honest. I just got up there, it was like, sein und, and my pianist's like, oh, it's okay, I couldn't even tell. And I was like, yes, you could. Yes, you could. Don't lie to me. But, after my Italian song, Dove Sono, that I talked about, where I just bombed it completely and felt like a failure, I really thought that this was going to go awful as well. And in, my rehearsal for it, it was my first time singing it without words, literally 5 minutes before the juries were starting. Talk about stress. And it was my first time singing it without words on stage. Because, I could sing it without words on my own just fine, but it's something about being on stage. It's just different, man. It is different, and it just makes me freeze, and I forget everything. But I kept forgetting a part that I knew, like, to the second verse. I was like, no, I know this. Why am I not doing it? What the flip, bro? And I just started tearing up, and my accompanist was like, hey, whoa, hold on, don't do that quite yet, because let's just chill out, okay? And we took a breather, and got back in there, and I did manage to run through it once, but it was because the director of the music department was, like, right in the room watching me practice, and I think that really got to me. So then as soon as he walked out, I ran through the entire thing and did it fine. Like, I flubbed a lot of the German, but most of it was right, or at least recognizable. I was just repeating a line from maybe the first verse in the second. So it wasn't a crazy big deal. And I was at least rhyming, because I always knew, like, the rhyme structure at the end of the phrases. So I was like, okay, I know it ends with this word, and it's this sound, so the next line has to end with that sound. So I was able to kind of flub it around and do that. But I think the biggest difference with this one was I actually have fun singing it. Because I kept telling myself, like, maybe this is your last time singing classical music. Maybe this is the last time you're doing this, because I've been really debating quitting. And I went out there. I had fun with it. I even laughed after I finished. I laughed and looked at the people who were judging me in the face and just be like, oh, I just flubbed all that German, I hope you don't mind. And took a little bow and walked off stage. And I didn't cry. I didn't go hide. I hit all of the high notes beautifully. Like, I can actually say that with confidence. I did hit all the notes really well. It was all really in my wheelhouse, hit that high A real nice. So I've gotten very comfortable with that range. And they kept telling me, like, this is a really difficult song, and I did it. And I was really proud of that. And I still am. I'm still proud of that. But then afterwards, my professor came up to me like, yeah, you did great. But I saw you didn't sign up for next semester. And I was just like, yeah, I don't know, man. We'll see. And he stopped and said, well, I've already talked to the director of music, and, like, we've already got a whole lineup of songs we want you to learn. We'd like you to get started in some classical French music. We'd like you to perform a song with no words, because we know you struggle with words. And only 2 students in the school's history have ever performed this song, and we want you to do it. And it just so happens that the other 2 students were, like, their favorites. No pressure, And he started going on and on, listing out all these songs that he wants me to do and all these ideas that they have. And he's like, and I've talked about this with the director of the music program. This is such an honor. Like, we really believe in you. You have such talent and skill. We're going to take you far. And I just stared at him while he was talking about this. I was like, do you not remember what I told you the other day? How my priorities are shifting, and how, I still really want to please my professors and my teachers. I am a people pleaser to death. Like, I will destroy myself just to get a good job. And I've been doing that for the last 3 years. But now I am finally at the point of saying, you know what, I don't think I care that much. I want your respect, and I want your love, but I don't think I can kill myself over a piece of music anymore. And I have so much else going on, and, I am really enjoying streaming, but it is taking up a lot of my life right now. And, to make room for it, I stay up from midnight to 5 a.m. streaming for 5 hours. Or if I'm not streaming the entire time, I still don't go to sleep until 5, get up and go to work at 8. And I usually show up late, and I'm not a good employee anymore like I used to be because of that. but it's because I don't care about my job anymore. You know, I work in the admissions of my college, the admissions department, and I can honestly say I hate it. I hate working in an office. I learned that very quickly last summer when I was working there for 40 hours a week. Hated it. But yet I'm going back to do it again because I need money. And I'm giving tours of the school, and initially I liked it, but now it's something that I honestly dread. And I hate that. And while I'm giving the tour, it's not always that bad. Like, I still try to have fun with it, and it's a chance to walk around the school instead of just sitting in that stupid office. But it's draining because I'm not good with people. That's one of my things. I'm not. And yet here I am having to deal with families every single day, and it really takes me out. And so now I'm like, okay, I was planning out my summer, and I'm just like, all right, I guess I'm gonna have to work 40 hours a week, so from 8 to 5 every day, maybe take an hour nap after that, eat dinner, and then start streaming at like 7 or 8, and just stream until about 1 or 2 a.m. maybe. And my friend just kind of looked at me and was like, dude, what are you doing? You are setting yourself for failure up again. You're gonna overwork yourself. You're not gonna sleep. You're setting yourself up for failure again, because this is what I do. And with my music professors, they don't know that I stream, of course. I'm not going to tell these old men and have to explain what live streaming to a bunch of strangers is, and they're probably going to automatically assume that's sexual for some reason, because why not? But yeah, I just tell them that I now have a night job. And, they're already saying, like, well, we'll send you, because we really believe in you and we understand that you maybe need some more time, we'll send you music over the summer that you can start working on. And you can go ahead and just get to work on that and have a head start in front of everybody, and you're going to do great. And we really just want you to prioritize this and put all of your effort in it like you used to. But I was killing myself back then. They want me to go back to what I was. They don't like that I'm taking a break, kind of. Not even, because I'm literally traveling to sing this weekend. I'm not even taking a break. I'm just not putting as much effort in as I used to. And they're already disappointed. And even though they watched me have panic attacks multiple times, every time I made a mistake, I broke down crying, and I would just tell them over and over, I'm sorry for disappointing you. I just want to make you proud. And they'll be like, well, we are proud, but yeah, you could do better. Yeah. And constantly tell me, you need to impress me. You need to be better. You need to show everyone that you can do this. And I can't take it. They knew I couldn't take it. But yet this is what's been laid on me. And I finally told them yesterday. I went to the director of the music department, and he was telling me, he's like, yeah, I really need you to be all in next year, and you need to go sign up for this, because it would be a real shame if you just waste your talent. If you just quit now, and obviously, of course, you're going to fall off, because if we're not training you, then what are you doing? Your voice is going to be ruined. And all this work we've done will be for nothing. And I told myself, well, I hate to break it to you. My priorities in life have changed. I'm turning 21 this year, in August. I've become a role model or leader of somewhat, I guess, on my campus. Not that I really asked to be, but I am. I have responsibilities, and I also have found a hobby that I absolutely adore and that I want to put more effort into, and not just go live and be exhausted all the time. Because, that's what my streams, the reason I do such chill streams that people seem to like, it's because I'm tired. I'm exhausted. And I don't have the energy to be, hyped up like I used to be. And I wish I did. Because I wish you guys could see that side of me. Because that's what I wanted. I wanted to show that side of me. And I've yet to have the opportunity because I'm exhausted. And burnt out. So I told him, I was like, well, my priorities have changed. And I know what I want in life now. And music's not necessarily that big of a role in it, to be honest, like it used to be. It used to be that growing up, I was like, I want to be a pop star. I want to be a singer. And then got a little older, I was like, well, I want to make folk music. I'd love to make folk music. Got a little older and realized, I didn't like myself, and I was just like, well, I'm not going to sing anymore. Got to college, started classical singing. Okay, well, I'll just train to be an opera singer, because why not? Even though I hate opera. And now, I've realized my ultimate goal is that I want to be a mom. I don't care really about having the highest grade anymore. Like I used to. I used to just want to be the academic, the star, And that was a selfish goal of mine, but it was my goal. Now, I just want to be a good person. And I want to be a mom. I grew up helping raise my cousins. We had a very bad situation back home that I'm not going to talk about. I don't really know if I can legally. We had a lot of stuff happen to my family. And, I practically lived with my grandparents, and because they lived right beside us, so I was over there every day. And my 2 baby cousins just got kind of dropped with them because they had nowhere else to go. It was that or foster care, and our foster care is not good. We didn't know where they would go. So we decided they would stay with my grandparents, their great-grandparents. And they're still there to this day. But at 13 years old, I had to step into a role of a caretaker for the first time. I'm the youngest in my family, but, when you are handed 2 children who are starving, covered in bruises and cuts, and, are just having a rough go at it, and they need someone to take care of them because your grandparents are too old to do everything, sometimes life and your dreams get put on the back burner. And I think that's also a reason I stopped singing, was because, I put those kids before everything. I would stay up late with them every night, rocking them to sleep, and making sure that they ate. As soon as I got off from school, I went straight over to my grandparents' house and spent the rest of the day taking care of them, changing diapers, and dealing with spit up. And they both had health issues, so there were ER visits all the time, and pediatric visits, and there was a lot of drama with family and their parents, who, no, I will not speak on them actually. But, there's a lot. There was a lot that happened. And even then, I can remember just, rocking this little baby to sleep and thinking, I could be such a good mother for you at 14 years old. Which is kind of ridiculous. That I was willing to put in work to help these kids, and their own parents weren't. I know I'm kind of going on a rant, but it's something I've never talked about because our family's been very hush-hush about it. Because, we need to look good, I guess. But man, our family is really messed up. I think my parents were the only people in our family to not get hooked on drugs and not go to prison. Or, go and have mental problems and end up in an institution. that did not carry through to me. I inherited all the traits from my grandmother, I guess, which is not what I wanted, but, you know, you try so hard to avoid something and then it ends up coming true, and now I'm at the realization that I am a lot like her, more than I ever wanted to be. And, you know, taking care of those girls, I can remember thinking, I wish I could be your mother and give you a life. I wish I was older so I could have a job, so I could just take you away from all of this. I would buy us a house. I would love you. I already love you unconditionally, and that will never change. And I just wish I had the means to give you everything you ever want and everything you ever deserved. But now I'm in college. I had to leave home. I had to leave them, which was the hardest thing I ever had to do. Like, sure, it's hard to leave my mom and my dad. It was hard to leave my pets. I mean, I go home every weekend just to see my dog. But when I go home on the weekend, I still go visit these kids and make sure that they're doing well and catch up on what's going on in our family and make sure that they're safe. Because I spent years making sure they were safe. I have memories where we were in life-threatening situations, and I just had them in my arms and we were hiding behind a chair or something, or a couch, and just praying, like, God, get us out of this alive, and just keep us safe. And I pray all the time, let them be safe, if nothing else, you know? And, you know, I mentioned a minute ago how I've inherited a lot of traits from my very mentally ill grandmother, who, I mean, I don't even want to speak too much on the situation, but it's not good. And as much as I wish I could say she was a great mother, she wasn't. She wasn't really. You know, my dad didn't have a great childhood. And out of respect for him, I'm not going to speak too much on that. But just, yeah, he didn't have it great. And, you know, I spent many years saying, I'm never going to be like that. I know that we have the same conditions, some of the same disorders, but I am not going to be like her. I'll be different. And I am different. I'm not as intense, I don't think. But I have come to realize that she and I are a lot more alike than I thought, which was kind of heartbreaking. Because, like I said, I want to be a mother. But I am terrified of messing it up. I'm terrified of my mental illness and my disorders getting in the way of that. And I'm not saying that someone with mental illness and mental disorders or psychiatric disorders can't have children. I think there's plenty out there who do. But just for me personally, I'm terrified of hurting my child. Not, I would never hurt them physically, but mentally, their emotional well-being. What if they grow up and they realize that they hate me? What if I don't do things right? What if I pass down what I have to them? Because it runs in our family. Depression, anxiety, trauma. My mom likes to say we have a generational curse of being exploited in certain ways that leave you absolutely traumatized. Again, we'll not get into it, but I think you can read between the lines. How could I ever bring a child into this world and have that happen to them? have them also one day sitting at a kitchen table thinking over their priorities in life and being terrified of doing something that everyone wants to do, or not everyone, but that everyone talks about and parents want you to do. I'm terrified of it. And I always tell people, like, oh yeah, it's because I think labor and pregnancy is gross, which I do. I think is objectively gross. I don't, you get the whole, like, oh, it's the miracle of life. And then all of a sudden a bunch of placenta just kind of like drops out of your uterus. Ugh, disgusting. No. Hate it. But I could deal with that. I've been through a lot. I don't care about that. If it means, if it means my baby coming out safely, I'll go through the pain. I'll take it. But what if I have a baby and all of a sudden, like, as they're growing up, my mental illness gets in the way of me being the mother that I want to be. And then one day I look back and realize I could have been better for you. Because right now I sit here and look at these kids, my cousins, I look at these girls and I think I could be such a better mom for you than your birth parents. I would hold you every night and just kiss you and tell you I love you over and over and over until you're tired of hearing it. Because you deserve to be told that you're loved and to know without a shadow of a doubt that you're loved. But what if I mess it up? And what if I pass down the very traits that I've come to hate about myself? That I wish I could just rip out of myself. And I was once talking to my mom, which my parents and I, we haven't always had the best relationship. It has its up and downs. But, my mom and I are pretty good now, and I'm eternally grateful for that, because we've both worked really hard to get this to a good standing. And we're finally at that. And, it's something that I prioritize in my life, which is why I go home every weekend, because I want to upkeep our relationship. And, well, really our friendship at this point. And I know my mom one time was sitting there talking to me, and she's like, yeah, growing up, you know what I always wanted to do? I just wanted to be a mom. And she admitted to me, she said, but what if I messed it all up? Because look at my children. Depressed, trying to kill themselves. What if it's my fault? And I just know, I'll probably end up thinking the exact same thing in about 20 years. Don't know if I'll tell my daughter that. But it just shattered my heart to hear my mom say that. To hear her say, I could have been a better mother. But in the end, I think everyone could be better. You can always be a better parent. Because none of us are perfect. We're all going to make mistakes. We're going to let people down. We're going to let our children down. And I got a long way to go before I consider having kids, I'm going to get married. Not probably. I'm going to get married first. I want to get out of college and get a house before I even think about having kids. I want things to be secure before I bring someone into this world. Because they deserve that security. And I've seen what happens when you don't have that security. And it's not good. But yeah, that was just something I've been thinking on, like the past 3 weeks. It's been on my mind. We have some people who live down the road from my apartment, and like, I see them sometimes when I'm driving back home from work, and it's just, like, a young mom and dad, and they have, like, a little toddler, and they'll just go, like, hold the baby's hands while he's trying to practice walking, and I always just, like, slow down and smile, and just, like, what a special moment for them. And I just hope I can also have moments like that one day. And that is, the reason why I choose to get better. The reason, I survived my attempt, and it's like, well, what do I do now? Well, I'm just striving to be a good person every single day and do the best I can, even if sometimes the best I can do isn't exactly what my professors want. Maybe I forget, half of my Italian aria. But my ultimate goal is to get better and get therapy and psychiatric help, which no one in my family has ever done. And I think we've seen the outcome of that. And I'm doing all this because I want my children to have better. And I just want them to feel loved for their whole entire life. And I hope that you also feel loved out there. I don't know if anyone notices, but in my descriptions I do put on in there, like, you're loved. And not to be parasocial, but I love you guys. I care about you guys. And I hope that there's someone out there every day who tells you that they love you too. And if there isn't, then let me be that person. I love you. I care about you. And I appreciate you for watching, for, helping me, while I'm streaming a stupid video game and bantering with me. I love that. And it's right now one of the best things going on for me. So thank you. And thank you for listening. I'm going to go ahead and head on out. I'm actually going to go live stream and upload this video real quick. So that'll be a good time. But I will see you all next week. Have a wonderful week, night, day, whatever it is. And I'll see you later.